Hello everybody, this is Namtox from NTF GAMING, and I'm here fresh off the heels of that Ninja Turtles reaction. I was riding that hype all weekend long, and then I started thinking, you know, the ultimate question, the question that everybody has everywhere on Twitter, on YouTube, social media, is how are they going to play? You know, I know there's other YouTubers who have covered these kind of things, but I felt like I had to throw my own little hat in there, do my own research, look at the history of NetherRealm, you know, fighting games as a whole, and, you know, there's speculation about the form of character they will take, whether it's one person who calls in the others as an assist, or is it going to be you play as Leo and the others just get used for special attacks like how 18 and 17 work in Dragon Ball Z Fighters, or are they going to be like, you know, a mini team, like when you pick them, are they each going to have their own individual life bars, and then you can swap between them assist style like a Marvel game? You know, they've done that kind of stuff in NetherRealm before. If you remember in Mortal Kombat 9 with the tag team mode, there's all sorts of different ways they could implement them, but my research is mostly focused on, let's say they're a Triborg style character where you can, you know, press a different button to select a different turtle, or maybe a Marvel style character where you can pick one and you can swap between the four of them with mini life bars. How would they play? Let's take each character, imagine them as their own individual person. What can their play style be like? And if you know the history of NetherRealm games and how they work, I'm not bashing them. I love NetherRealm, I love their games, but they definitely take influence from certain characters and move them on into new ones. You know, like you can see bits of Aaron Black in a character like Deadshot. You can see bits of Solomon Grundy and Bane in a character like Ferrator. You know, they might use like someone's base to start off a new character and then go from there. So with that in mind, I thought I'd take a look at some characters that could possibly have an influence from the old games and bring them onto the new. So we're just going to start with Leo. When I was thinking of Leo, I'm thinking about swords, you know, twin katanas, ninjutsu. And the first one that came to mind is Scorpion. In MKX, Scorpion has a ninjutsu variation. I mean, even if you look at his swords, they are very similar in proportion to Leonardo's swords, and obviously you're disregarding his hellfire and his spear. If you just look at some of these strings that I'm pulling off here, and, you know, imagine maybe his teleport instead is like a smoke bomb, because, you know, they are ninjas, you know, for all intents and purposes, and, you know, he can still have the slide, he can still have some of these normals. I'm just trying to spitball maybe what they might look like if you can just imagine the turtles using some of these things. Next up is Raphael, and I think the obvious parallel there is Mileena. Also in MKX, she has a fighting style where she uses the size much more than the other styles, and I mean, some of her moves seem tailor-made more for a turtle than for a sexy female assassin. You know, you have the roll on the ground, you have the teleport kick, the side throw, the split side throw. Those are all things you can see Raphael doing. Not quite as sexy, but you can still seeing him doing it regardless. And obviously her normals with the size, there's no way they'd make Raphael that vicious, especially in a game that's not rated M, but you can still see some really cool flow, the way she kicks her just combo strings. Raphael could definitely have something like that, but a bit more powerhouse because he's a lot bigger and much broader than she is. Next, we're going to go over to the most interesting set of characters, Donatello and Michelangelo. Now, for Donatello, I was trying really hard to think of who has a bow staff, really. And it really came down to a mixture of characters. Now, you have, the first one I thought of was Kung Jin. You know, he has his bow fighting staff, and he has, like, you know, a couple of really good specials, and his flow with his ninjutsu style, like kicks, and the way he tricks with the bow staff. I could see Donatello having all of that stuff. But if you look at Bo Raicho, even though it's a cane and not a bow staff, the way he uses it in combat by hooking people and smashing them with his belly, or by jumping up in the air and landing on his back like a backsplash, you can easily see a move like that happening, but with the turtle shell. You know, I feel like that's a really direct parallel. Even his grab where he just belly flops on him, that's just something I see the turtles doing. I can see that kind of whimsy and just lighthearted style of attacks fitting one of the Ninja Turtles really well. Then you have, if you go back to Injustice 1, Nightcrawler, who we'll get to him in a second in terms of Michelangelo, but in terms of his bow staff style, it wasn't really fleshed out, but still a couple of really basic specials. Even TMNT Fighters had this back in the day on Super Nintendo, where he would plant the bow staff, launch himself for a drop kick. Those are all very like obvious things that, you know, Donatello could have. They've been in NetherRealm games before, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him have them again. And last but not least, we take a look at Michelangelo, and this one was the hardest one, but like good friend MIKALIAN, who has commented down below, Nightcrawler also had the Eskrima sticks. Now, in terms of the weapon itself, obviously it's not a direct parallel with the nunchucks, but the way he fights with them up close, his Eskrima Fury, where he meter burns it and he's swinging them really quickly up close, you can easily see that translate over to a more nunchuck style, especially because it's close range. They're short, they're fast and hard hitting. You know, he might dual nunchuck, who knows? I'm just trying to think of potential possibilities, and I was thinking of Nightwing and Eskrima. I feel like out of all the characters they've ever done before, if they're going to take any kind of ideas from, it'd be him. Now, obviously, these are going to be new characters. The way they fight's going to be new. The way they flow together, I'm sure, is going to surprise everybody because it's Ed Boon, it's NetherRealm, it's what they do. But these are just some potential ideas of where it may go. I'm excited. I'm just very pumped to see them. I hope, you know, in terms of the way they fight, you know, kind of what I said is used as a basis and they move on from it. And in terms of gear, you have all sorts of stuff. I mean, gear, you have, you know, the Foot Clan, you have Shredder, you have the costumes from the movies, especially Part 3 when they go to Japan. I mean, hello, like I feel like the way they've done costumes and fan service in their games before, they're really good at pulling, you know, from the stuff that you know from mainstream, and they have really deep pulls that they get as well. So I feel like there's a lot of cool looks, a way to, you know, show love to their lore, you know, Casey Jones, stuff like that. I could even see maybe a Shredder premium skin for Sub-Zero, where he looks like he did back in MK Deception when he was basically an icy cold Shredder. I'm just very excited. I know I can get across in this. I'm kind of rambling and going off about what I like to see. I'm just very pumped. I hope you guys liked the video. I would like to see all of your guys' thoughts down below. Let me know what you think is going to happen, how they're going to work. I've had a couple people, don't have their names at the top of my head, I'm sorry, but they said character traits, and that's totally possible. I can see the character trait being how you swap between the turtles. I'm very, very excited. I hope you liked my analysis, my predictions, my hopes of what they could possibly be. And I don't know, I just appreciate all the views, all the love you guys are showing me, and I'm trying to show it to you guys back. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I am so close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I'm humbled by all the attention and love you show me, and I'm glad to have you guys watching this video. I'll see all of you guys next time. My name is Namtox. Adios, everybody.